Good morning, Year 7. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be in this morning. Still not well, but hopefully back tomorrow. All right, now I want to have a look at, quickly revise 6F and then have a look at 6G. 6F is dividing by decimals or dividing a decimal. When we're dividing a decimal out, if we're just dividing by a normal number, we leave our sum as it is. So I've just got one like this. So we've got, oops, the right one, 0.2505 divided by 5. That's a whole number. So we just leave this as it is. 0.2505. We can add zeros on there just in case. As many as we need, and we've got 5 here. So we put our decimal point where it should be. Then we come up here, we divide. 5 into 0 won't go. 5 into 2 won't go. Carry the 2. 5 into 25 goes 5 times. And then nothing over, so 5 into 0 won't go. 5 into 5 goes once. And we don't need that 0 there. So it would equal 0.0501. Okay? What we need to have a look at is when dividing by a decimal. Dividing a decimal by another decimal. So we have this here. We have 5.5015 divided by 0.5. So what I need to do is to make the 0.5 a whole number. So I'm multiplying by 10 or moving the decimal point one place. If I do it here, I've got to do the same here. So I end up with this, dividing it there. So divided by 5, and it's obviously 0, so it's just normal 5. And the decimal point here has come across, so this becomes 5. And I've moved the decimal point here, 0.15. That maintains the balance of the sum. So then I can lay my sum out the same way as I did it before. So there's my 5, and there's my 55.015, and there's my decimal point. I fixed my decimal point, so now I can do my sum as a normal sum. 5 into 5 goes once, 5 into 5 goes once, nothing over. 5 into 0 won't go, 5 into 1 won't go, and that becomes 15. I carry the 1. That's 5 into 15 goes 3 times. So the answer equals 11.003. So that's how I convert it. I multiply the divisor, which is this one, divisor, multiply that, make it a whole number, divisor. So that's the divisor here. Make it a whole number. Once you've made it a whole number, you just lay it out as a normal sum. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. So what we want to have a look at then is we go to decimals and fractions, converting decimals. Now what we want to have a look at is that this vinculum here, the fraction line there, is actually equal to divided by. And when we've got a decimal, we know that that means 25. 0.25 means 25 out of 100, or 25 divided by 100. We know that. So what about if we want to convert between other ones? Let's have a look at that. 5/8. Let's have a look at how they've done that. Now, with our 5/8 converted to a decimal, now that line, the vinculum, is divided by. Division, vinculum, it's called, Latin name for divided. Vinculum. It always means divided by, always. So what we've got is 5 divided by 8. 5 divided by 8. So we would lay it out like this. It's 5 divided by 8. Now that's not going to make a lot of sense as a sum. So what we do is put our decimal point there, keep it in the same spot, decimal points in the same spot, and add zeros. Just add zeros, add as many as we need until there's no remainders or it recurs. So we see that 8 won't go into 5, so it's 0, and it's 5 over. It becomes 50, so 8 goes into 50 6 times. We know our tables. 6 8s are 48, and 2 over. Right. So 8 goes into 20. We know that 2 8s are 16. 8 goes into 20. 2 8s are 16. 2 times. Whoops. 2 times. And then 4 over. And 8 goes into 45 times because I know my tables. So 5 divided by 8 is 5/8 as a decimal equals 0.625. So I can convert between fractions and decimals using that method. And of course, 23% or 0.23, I should say, same for a decimal. As a fraction, that equals 23 out of 100. 23 divided by 100. Can I break that down any further? No, I can't. So that's what I have as my sum there and how I work it out. So that's what we've had a look at there, 6F and 6G. That's what we did the other day. Right, dividing by a whole number and dividing by a decimal, where we've got to make the divisor, which is this one here, we've got to make that a whole number. And then we're going to convert between fractions, decimals and fractions. Right, we understand that this means divided by. And 0.3 is equal to 3 out of 100. 3 out of 100. Now, 3 out of 100, if I'm going to convert that to a fraction, that's what it is. If I convert that to a decimal, I'll end up with 0.333. If I use the same method, 3 out of 100, 3 divided by 100, if I use the same method that I've used here, put 100 here, 100. Right, 0.3. Just keep adding zeros. See how many I need. 100 won't go into that. Okay. 100 won't go into, right? 100 won't go into 3. They carry the 3. 100 won't go into 30. Okay. So I'll keep going on. Whoops. Keep going on with that. Now, gentlemen, so I want you to make sure, bring this back. I want you to make sure that you have worked your way through there, and then the chapter review. We're not, those ones that we're not doing, you don't need to be looking at, but you can with the chapter review. Through here, get some of these ideas and key things, statements into your summary book. So notice this is a summary here, so you should be putting these into your summary book. Checklist that you can do that, that's fine. Then going over that, make sure that you can do that in the chapter review, but only go through the ones that are looking at the ones that we did, the sections that we didn't do. Of course, you're not going to be looking at for our test. Now, I have sent you out the algebra work outline, but we're not going to be looking at that until we've done the test. Okay, thanks.